Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Josh Flores from Wall Street Saturday. I just want to thank you guys for checking out the video this week. If you can, please support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. And I just want to inform everybody that everyone on this video are not financial advisors, nor anyone's financial advisors. Anything that's said or seen on the show is strictly for educational purposes only. With that being said, please enjoy the show. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us for another episode of Wall Street Saturday. It is April the 9th, 2022. We've had a lot of things going on this week, and we got Mark here on the call. We're excited. Can I get some claps? But I'm the only one. That's fine, But before we get too far ahead, I just want to pray us in and just thank God for our time here today. But Heavenly Father, we just thank you for another day that we get to come together and just honor you with our money and our conversations, and just help us be a blessing to each other and to the viewers and anyone else that may be listening in. And it's in your holy name we pray. Amen. Cool. So as I said, we're just going to get started here. I'm Josh Flores.
I'm Joshua Trusty.
Misael Gonzalez.
And I'm Mark Calvert.
All right, team. Well, this week we're going to do a quickly review update for the week. We had a pretty mixed week, I believe. We had mostly the tech stocks down again, as we had some rumors of possible Fed activity in the future. So the S&P ended the week at 4488, while the Dow ended at 34,721. So some of the things that we were noticing during the week, or tracking during the week, is a lot of the activity that the Fed has mentioned it would do. Obviously, we've been tracking how the interest rates are going to be affected by the hikes that we expect in the coming months. But also this week, we heard that the Fed plans to reduce its balance sheet aggressively. And that obviously threw the market into a spin because, investors want to recalculate their moves whenever something like that is announced. And basically, this is just an announcement. We don't have any details yet. We do know that they're planning to be aggressive with it, but once we get more details into that, we'll definitely be covering how that's going to look for the future. Basically, when the Fed announces that they're going to reduce their balance sheet, that means that they're going to either stop buying as much as they have been in the market, and maybe start selling some of the assets that they have in their balance sheet. So when you have a big institution like the Fed sell some of the securities that they have, obviously that pushes prices down because of the quantity that goes back into the market. But again, once we get more details into it, we'll make sure to cover it. So I wanted to spend some time in terms of Tesla and some of the announcement that they've made. Obviously, they had their cyber rodeo this past week. And essentially what that was pretty much the celebration of them finishing and opening their new Giga Austin factory. So now, in addition to the Fremont factory and the Giga Berlin, the Giga Shanghai, we are now nearing the conclusion of the master plan with Giga Austin. And so Giga Austin is the largest production facility in the world. And out of that, Tesla plans to bring Model 3s that are going to be mostly shipped to the east. Obviously, Cybertruck and the Semi coming up. So I think that's very positive news to Tesla, Tesla investors, everybody who's keeping track of Tesla, because I think just that shows the potential of Elon Musk and his and her vision. And in a company, you always want to look for someone who has the ability and the willingness to carry out a vision that's going to transform the world. And as we've seen, Tesla hasn't spent any money in doing marketing, yet the fan base is strong because of word of mouth and people actually recommending products to other people. And I think that's something that's very valuable and it's kind of hard to quantify. But I guess the reason why this is important is that some of the things that the board is considering is another stock split. The last time we saw a stock split was in August of 2020. So a company doesn't announce a stock split unless they think that it's going to be very, very profitable in the future. So I think that's an opportunity for investors, and I myself, I'm planning on investing again into Tesla because now they have proven that they can accomplish what they said they would accomplish, and I predict that this next phase is just going to be them scaling up to the demand of the world. I know that they had a slide in the presentation where, it was Tesla had like around 1 million cars being produced in a year, and 1 million out of the 30 or 40 million cars that are produced or that are out there. And that slide wanted to convey the message that even though they've done a lot already, there's still a lot way to go. There's still a lot of way to go. And personally, I know I see Teslas around every once in a while, but the objective is to see like 50% or plus of the market penetration being Tesla. And I think that's where the perspective comes for the stock. So I'm bullish on that. And then finally, just wanted to touch on Elon's recent move in acquiring a really big stake in Twitter. Obviously, he likes that platform because he's asked his followers whether they want the company to make a decision or not. So I think that's very effective for him. But I also think that he did that to kind of prevent Twitter from being taken over by some sort of liberal movement, cancel culture that would make it less powerful as it is right now. Personally, I think he plans on make it even more open to speech. And I personally predict that he's going to bring back Donald Trump's Twitter account back. So I think that's a very important move. Maybe he plans on kind of sharing more news, more updates of Tesla itself through that platform. But I think he just wants to protect it from it becoming something that is a lot less, or adds a lot less value than what it does now for him and for the world. So that's just basically a quick update on what we were seeing this week. And I know that something else that happened is a Bitcoin conference, and for that, we can let Mark give us a bit of a summary there.
Yeah, so we just had Bitcoin 2022 in Miami. I was actually able to attend last year, and it was pretty insane. And apparently, it was pretty much doubled. They were claiming like 25,000 people were there. I don't know if 25,000 people can fit in that space, but regardless, it's huge. There's a lot of outdoors, and there's screens everywhere, like streaming everything. So, but it seems like, so last year the biggest topic was El Salvador. That was kind of like the finale, basically legalizing Bitcoin as legal tender. And so that's still going on, and a lot of companies have moved since then to El Salvador and are kind of creating its like own nation, Bitcoin nation. So, but this year, Jack Mallers came up, and he was the one who announced El Salvador, and he's saying that now all of Shopify accepts Bitcoin through the Lightning payment stream through Cash App. So that's Jack Dorsey's collaboration with Strike, I believe, to make payments. I mean, be able to check out anywhere, and then as well as I don't want to say it wrong. I think it was NCA Systems, any POS, point of sale system that they own. I think they're like the largest, and he had a whole list of all the companies, but they now accept it as well. So again, most Bitcoin maximalists are not going to want to spend their Bitcoin. It's like the Bitcoin pizza, someday it could be worth millions. So, but the idea is this is adoption. This is moving forward. And step one is just the ability and the access. So there's just a lot of people outside the US that, this is maybe their best option, especially in places like Ukraine right now, for them to transact and get what they need. So was there another big topic that I said? You guys help me out. What did we kind of discuss about? There's something else I wanted to mention about
More
it.
like ESG concerns with Bitcoin. I think you mentioned that El Salvador was going to be using like volcanic energy in order to produce Bitcoin.
Right. So El Salvador has been using geothermal. They are mining, and I believe it's like as a country. Like I believe somehow, I don't necessarily know how it feeds back in, but I do know it's like a community-based thing. Like an actual government-based mining operation. And there was also the fact that a lot more companies have come on board with renewable energy as far as just taking excess natural gas and converting that into electricity and mining on site on the actual wellheads. That is blowing up. It seems to me that is going to just be the norm in the future. I think that every oil and gas company eventually is just this is going to come hand in hand, and they're going to somewhat be an energy company, like providing power to the grid as well as just, when it's profitable, mining Bitcoin. So that's a no-brainer for me. I think that's coming. I wish I could capitalize off of it, and I don't know how.
Unfortunately, I don't have like a spare oil well to loan you, so
I know.
Out of luck there, man.
I'd love to get involved. Oh yeah, and also, what is it now? Tesla also is going to be partnering with their solar panels for another mining operation or something. Did you guys hear about this? This is just a really
I thought it was
new headline I just heard.
Yeah, I remember seeing something on CNBC yesterday about it, but I think when they were having the discussion, they were just saying like, we don't know if Elon's joking about it or not, so but it's definitely something
with a crypto.
Yeah,
he said something with.
Yeah.
People are thinking Doge, and which I still don't understand. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, this is an article from The Verge on April 8th, which was yesterday. And the headline is, let me just bring it up here. If I can. Actually, the headline is Block and Blockstream are partnering with Tesla on an off-grid solar-powered Bitcoin mine in Texas. It's set to open later this year.
Yeah, that's big. And Texas is definitely the place to do it. Texas has been very welcoming to all miners. We're quickly becoming the mining hub, for sure. Got that bump from China, making that illegal, and that really helped us out. And I think that this is really a place for us to get a foot in the door and just really, I think some big stuff's coming within the next year. And if we look back 10 years from now, dude, it's going to be a different place.
Yeah.
So
I think also looking at more ESG concerns, I think having more solar panels being used to power the creation of Bitcoin, like the mining of Bitcoin rather, that's going to really change the narrative that Bitcoin is kind of like an ESG concern rather than being an ESG benefit. Because the more that we're using renewable energy for different purposes, especially like mining Bitcoin, I think that's just going to help encourage society overall just to accept more of like solar panels as a viable source of energy for our purposes.
Well, another benefit. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just reading here from the article. It says Block and Blockstream, a company that makes Bitcoin infrastructure, are partnering with Tesla and open source solar powered Bitcoin mine. So basically, what Tesla, the part of the Tesla would be like harnessing the energy, and then Block and Blockstream would kind of do like the hardware for the actual mining and stuff like that. So the energy comes from Tesla, and then the hardware for the actual mining comes from Block and Blockstream. So that's an interesting.
And I just wanted to mention one more thing as far as, because they did have a lot of power discussions at the conference. And one thing, so you have your base load, which is like energy that's needed 24/7 all the time. It's just your minimum to keep the lights on, right? And then you have which basically has to come fossil fuels or hydro or something like that, because it's if the wind's not blowing or the sun's not shining, we still have to have that power, right? But then we have things like all of our, renewables, and that is basically the flex load that is like people come home, the power grid needs more energy, so they can use that to send it to where they need to supply the difference. And what miners are doing is, because basically anyone else that's sending power back to the grid, it's not as easy as just flipping on and off, but miners can. Miners can actually help balance the load by literally just turning off miners and helping support the grid, right? And vice versa, if there's excess energy, they can turn miners on and take that away, which helps, because like starting up these, turbines or whatever, the process is not fast. So this is like basically a different outlook. We're looking, it puts a more positive view. Instead of these miners being like a hindrance or doing all this, it's actually benefiting everyone, and it's going to make the power companies push for it because it makes their job easier, essentially. So,
right, constant outputs all of the time. No ramping up or ramping down.
No control of it too, because you can't, that power's got to go somewhere. So it can't just dissipate, it's got to be used. We're harnessing energy and it's got to be used somewhere. And once storage is stored, where does it go, and then it's a waste. So this is a quick way, like if you have miners standing by to take that easily, and then obviously they're not going to want to do it when it's not profitable, so that they can just turn them off, or these generators can either turn on and pump back into the grid, or they can turn on their miners and then take that power that way. So it's just like a fork in the train track, it's just a way to divert. And I don't know, I love it. I love how it's all remotely controlled, and they can do this all through systems, that actually can incorporate. So
right.
Very cool. Oh, our timer's up, guys. I just realized.
Yeah. One quick note before we head out. I just want to note that our girl Kathy Wood was citing research earlier this past week that about 70% of Bitcoin investors are holding their position for the long term. In other words, more than 6 months. So clearly a lot of like Bitcoin holders see like the value in not just, being like a literal trader, but actually investing in the cryptocurrency and staying in there for the long term. So hopefully all of our viewers will be just like them and stay long and stay green.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching Wall Street Saturday. Remember, this is for educational purposes. We're not financial advisors. If you like our videos, go ahead and like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified every time we have a new video out. Thanks for watching.